everyone, my name is Meryl and this is the third video in a series in collaboration with Cape Town Music Academy. Today I'm going to talk about how to go about putting together your first basic system for music technology. So I suppose we could start with no system at all, which is probably where most people are when they first start out. So you probably have a computer. If you don't have a computer, you might have a smartphone or a tablet. So I'm talking about a device that has a microphone and some speakers, no matter how basic that might be. You can do a lot with just that one device. You can search for the answers to the questions that you have. You can start learning how to do certain things, and you can try out software or apps before you invest any money. Music technology equipment can be expensive, and making mistakes when you buy the wrong pieces of equipment can be expensive mistakes to make. So it's always a good idea to proceed cautiously. So if you have this first system or non-system where you only have a computer, my advice would be to look for freeware. If you search for freeware, music freeware, you'll get a list of all sorts of programs, but there are probably 3 or 4 of them that are quite well known, have been around for a while, and that are pretty useful. The first one's called Audacity. It runs on Windows and Mac. It's free, and if you're a music teacher in a school, that would be a wonderful tool for basic editing if you're a student or if you're starting out with music technology. Second one is called MuseScore. It's a free music notation program. Again, it is really wonderful if you want to write basic scores, but it can also be used for groups and even some minor orchestral work. It's a good place to start. Another one is called Reaper, which is a basic DAW. So if you don't know what that term means, it's a digital audio workstation, which is effectively a system that uses your computer and other audio peripheral equipment for recording technology or production technology, and those systems can be small or big. But a DAW is a basic software program that will help you record. So Reaper is a good one. And in fact, Reaper is so good that you may not need to replace it for a number of years. So let's move on from the non-system to some form of basic system. So if you have a computer and you are ready to buy some other equipment, where would you start? What would be the first thing? Again, I guess it depends on what you want to do, but I suppose the most important thing at this point would be your microphone. So it's good to get a good quality microphone and get a microphone that is suited to your instrument. So if it's your voice, you need a vocal microphone. If it's a guitar, you may not need a microphone. You need something else called an audio interface. And if you're playing the violin, you would need a very different type of microphone. So it's important to figure out what do you need to record the instrument or the voice that you want to record. Second thing would be some software. We've already talked about freeware. But if you are now ready to move on to the next level, you might want to buy some software. And by this, I don't mean spend thousands of rands buying expensive software. You can buy light versions of software. Many manufacturers make entry-level versions of their program. So if you've experimented with the demo or the freeware and you think you know this is the one I want to buy a basic version of it, use it for a year or 2, and then you can upgrade it later. Another important piece of equipment, which is a hardware piece of equipment I've mentioned before, is called an audio interface. And that is effectively a converter. It converts what we call analog sound. So my voice is analog sound, and it converts it into digital technology which your computer understands. Computers think in ones and zeros. So everything is broken up into bits, and analog is an endless stream of never-ending information. So this little audio interface just converts the information. And again, you get basic introductory versions of audio interfaces, and then you get highly sophisticated ones that are used in recording studios. Once again, my advice would be to only buy what you need. Buy a good quality one for the purpose that you need it. If you're only going to be recording your voice or your one instrument, you only need a small interface of good quality where you can plug in your microphone or you can plug in your guitar. The next important piece of equipment is to buy good headphones. Most people use in-ears, and I don't particularly like in-ears. They're not very good for your ears. If you can, buy a decent set of headphones that will at least help you protect your ears and also keep the volume on your levels as low as you can. Your ears are your most important asset if you're a musician, and the last thing you want to do is to damage it when you're listening to music that is too loud. Headphones become problematic over time if you get to a point where you want to mix music. It's very difficult to mix music in headphones. In fact, most people who have to mix music for a living or professionally will tell you that it's impossible. So headphones are good to start in the beginning, but you will get to a point where you will outgrow headphone mixing and you'd have to buy something else, which is the next step, and that would be good monitors, studio monitors. But again, these are not things that you have to buy straight away. So my advice would be is to invest in small pieces of entry-level equipment at first to get you to do what you want to do initially. And as you learn and as you become more skilled and more accomplished, then you can make more thoughtful decisions about what your next piece of equipment is going to be. And you can save some money and you can invest in that piece of equipment because you know then that you've made the right decision and that piece of equipment will last you for a number of years. So, in short, I'm saying don't rush out and buy every piece of equipment all of a sudden because you now need to use everything for your recordings and your production. Use what you need at first and then make careful decisions about what you're going to buy. Thanks for listening.